Now, if you want to get a lot more power out of your forehand drives, I'm going to show you exactly what the pros do. I'm going to teach you this and you can start working on this because, as I say, it will give you an enormous amount more power when it comes to your forehand drive. Stay with me. Okay, so I want to plant the seed for you right now. So if I was to go, because this was exactly what you're going to do when it comes to your forehand drive and the problems that you're having and how we're going to fix it. So if you were to throw a stone, I say to you, I want you to throw it down to that wall. Right, so you got to throw it fair way. So what are you going to do? Well, you know you're going to stand on your back foot and you're going to throw it like this. What is the big thing that you're doing when you're throwing it? You are releasing the wrist, aren't you? When you throw a stone, you don't have your wrist like this and throw it like that, do you? No, you cock the wrist back and you throw it and your wrist has a whipping action, doesn't it? That's the whipping action when you throw. You don't throw it with a stiff wrist, do you? Because it'd be just like that, right? You wouldn't do that, would you? No, what you do when you throw it, you get back on your back foot and you throw it and you go onto your front foot, but your wrist, the most important thing, is doing this whipping action because that's how you throw a stone from here to there. Same with a frisbee, but that's for backhand side, but the same thing. You're whipping it through that. But just there, so that's what you're going to do, isn't it? That's what you're going to do. That wrist whips through, that's where you get your power. Now, all right, so that's when you're doing like that. Okay. Now, what about if I said to you, I want you to skim a stone, and I want you to go as far as you can. I want you to try and get 8 skims, you skim it across the water. So generally you'll do it across like that. Now, once again, you might be seeing a theme here. If you were to skim and you kept your wrist nice and tight like that, and you try to skim it like that, it's not going anywhere, is it? No. What do? You do, that's vertical, right, isn't it? Through the stone here. And then, I think baseball as well, but skimming a stone is we do exactly the same motion with our wrist, but we're doing it here, right? To skim, well, like that. We don't just hold it like this and try and do it like that. There's no power in that. Right, now you've probably already got to this point. So what about our forehand? So if we go for our forehand, and which you most commonly see, the forehand, and just, if I grab my paddle here and come through with a stiff wrist. Now, once again, if I was to throw a stone from an underarm position, if I just throw it like that, like a bit like a cornhole thing, which you're only not throwing very far, which is fine because that's just like dinking. We want that stiffened up there. We want that because that's going to give us better, reproduce it easily without throwing other things. But if we want to throw it a long way, I want you to throw it 50 feet, then you're going to have to throw that stone underarm by once again doing this, and now we're going to do this, aren't we? Because that's where we get the power from. So this, to throw a stone, yeah, you've already got this, haven't you? You're way ahead of me. The same thing, and this is what the pros do. This is what you want to be doing. So we want to be whipping through with our wrist. So rather than coming through and just like you wouldn't do that with a stone, we want to do exactly the same thing. So as we come through, you see this? So if we come through here, because what we're going to do, so again, I'm just going to go back one step for you. When we throw it like this, we end up, as we take this big arc, bang, like that, don't we? Just like a smash, like that. Now, skimming, we're going across, so we come across our body, don't we? That's what we want to do. And with a forehand, if we do the opposite of that, we're doing this, aren't we? We're doing this. Now, what you see most commonly in the recreational players is they're going to have a stiff wrist to try and guide it or push it. So push like this, strong wrist. Now you already know that's not going to give you the power. We're going to muscle the ball like that, which is fine, but if you want real power, and again, this is what your tennis players, your pickleball players, or your pro levels do, your higher end levels, 4.5 and above, are then doing this whipping action like I say. It's the opposite of this, we're doing this. So here's what you want to do. When you come down, you're going to, remember, from that, it's coming down like this, we are going to come up like this, because with our top spin, we're going to come up and brush up the ball and finish up here. Okay, so your impact, this is the whipping action that you want, which will give you enormous amount more power. So it's going to take a little bit of just going to groove in a new technique, just like anything else. You're going to have to practice this, but you're going to see this thing fly off your paddle. Remember, loosen up that wrist. So one really good thing to do as a drill is just before you go out and play, just get this wrist nice and loosened up. Okay, just loosen it up, and then when you're about to play, loosen it up and get that feeling. Another good way is to think of throwing the paddle away. So throw it away. So if I was going to throw it away. So really get that loosened up wrist so that when you come down, we're going to come down and just like if you've played golf, it's the same thing. You break the wrist like that as you come through to give you an enormous amount of power. Once again, you don't want to be just like this. Same thing. Come through, and you're going to have this whipping motion, just like skimming the stone, just like throwing the rock. It's exactly the same. If you start doing this rather than having it locked like this, you will see the enormous increase in your power. So, get that feeling. Again, all the pros do this. They start with this handle here, and they generally have the paddle down like this, because we're going to come down and up like that. Just like we did this, it's the opposite of this. We're going to come down and brush up the back of the ball as you do this. So, bang, hitting it out in front like this. That is the whipping motion that you want. Loosen up that wrist as you do this. And you are going to see an enormous increase in power as you do it. Give it a go. So don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, and also comment below. And if you're ever in Cozumel, Mexico, come and visit us here at Pick-a-Pock Pickleball.